Hi, this is Ian with MakeUseOf.com, and today we've got another tutorial for you. We're going to set up a Wi-Fi enabled button. What do I mean by that? Think Amazon Dash. Those buttons around your house, you press them and whatever's on the button, it will automatically order it online from Amazon for you. Instead of the button itself, we're going to use a NodeMCU board connected to a button that you probably have in your Arduino starter kit. And when that button is pressed, the NodeMCU is going to connect to Wi-Fi. It is going to send a request to if this then that, and if this then that is going to post on my Twitter feed whenever I press the button. You can of course use if this then that to do anything you want. So, without any further ado, let's get the hardware set up. Alongside the NodeMCU, you're going to need a push button. You're also going to need a breadboard and some pieces of hookup wire to connect them all together. The LED and the 220 ohm resistor are actually optional. I thought it would be nice to have a visual cue as to when the button's been pressed. If you don't have them to hand, don't worry, it won't affect the project at all. So this is how the circuit's set up. It might be a little hard to see as there were some defects with this particular NodeMCU, but the D0 pin goes through the push button to the RST or reset pin, and the D1 button goes through the positive side of the LED, which goes back to ground. There is a fritzing diagram of this on the Make Use Of website with the article attached to this video, so check in the description if you can't work it out from the video. Once you're set up, connect it to the computer and open up the Arduino IDE. So here in the Arduino IDE, we have started a new sketch. We have our NodeMCU board set up as our board. If you have never done this before, check the article on the main website. We have a link as to how to get the NodeMCU as one of the boards in your board manager. We're going to need a couple of libraries. So head to Sketch, head to Include Library, head to Manage Library. And the first one you're going to look for after it updates the list of installed libraries, which can take a couple of seconds. We're going to look for ESP8266 Wi-Fi, and it's this top one here by Ivan Grokhotkov. I hope I've said that right. I've already got it installed. If you haven't, there should be a button here to click Install and install it. We're also going to need the IFTTT webhook. Yes, this one here, the one by John Romkey. This one isn't strictly necessary, but what this is, it's a library that just makes it very easy to send webhooks to if this, then that, which is something we'll be setting up soon. So once again, click Install and install it. The first little bit of code here just includes the two libraries and sets up a few variables. You'll notice that we have variables here for your SSID and password for your Wi-Fi. Feel free to add those actually in here now. You'll need to keep the inverted commas, but you can change the lettering obviously to match your home network. We're also defining an if this then that API key, an event name, which you do not have yet. We'll cover that in a moment. The LED pin and the wake-up pin here, you'll notice they have different numbers to the ones on the NodeMCU we just set up. The NodeMCU and the Arduino IDE have a different numbering scheme, but there is a chart on the main Make Use Of website that explains this, or you could just trust me that these are the right pins for what we're doing. So, our setup function. We're going to want to use the serial monitor, so we're going to use serial begin at 15,200 baud. You want to make sure that when you do actually open the serial monitor, that the serial monitor says 15,200 baud in the bottom right, but we'll cover that later. Yeah, I found that this is a good baud rate for the NodeMCU in the past. However, this time round I had all kinds of problems. I couldn't get a completely clean serial monitor reading. You can still read what it says, but there's some gibberish at the front and the back, which you will see soon. I have no idea why that is. I might have had a slightly defective board, but if you have the same problem as me, please let me know in the comments if you found a way to fix it. I just fiddled with different baud rates before deciding that this is the best that it was going to get. So we wait for this serial connection to begin, and then print a blank line, and then print the line button pressed, and then print a blank line before sending the ESP unit to sleep, saying that if we want it to wake when this wake pin is triggered, in that when this is connected to our reset pin. Now, the reason it says button pressed here on initial setup is because whenever we do reset the board, this is where we are going to do our work. So apart from the very first time you power it up, it will have been button pressed, and it's in here, in this gap, where we will be doing our work, connecting to the internet and doing whatever we want to do. In this case today, posting to Twitter. But just for now, let's show that this deep sleep function is working. Those of you familiar with Arduino as a platform know that every sketch has to have a loop function in it. We won't actually be using the loop function today, but this does give us a good opportunity to show how deep sleep works. I've put something in the loop, which simply is something that will never get called. This should never get printed because it shouldn't. We start the setup function, it gets through to deep sleep and it stops. It goes to sleep. The only time it wakes up is if we reset the board and it goes through setup again. So one way we can test this now is by saving it and uploading it to our NodeMCU board. Now that the upload is finished, we can open up the serial monitor to see what's going on. So as I said before, I've been having this trouble with gibberish on the serial monitor. I've tried everything to do something about it this time, and I just can't get rid of it. However, you can see that it started up and it says button is pressed. And next to me, I have the button here. I'm going to press it. And as you can see, once again, button pressed. So what's happening is it goes into deep sleep mode. We know it's going into deep sleep mode because the thing in the loop function that we put there, the print line, this should never get printed, is not getting printed. But when we press the button, it restarts again and it says button pressed. We know the deep sleep is working, so let's move on and get our NodeMCU connected to our Wi-Fi. So to connect our NodeMCU to our network, I'm going to put a new function in between our setup function, which does everything, and the loop function, which does nothing. And it's called connect to Wi-Fi. Now this looks pretty big, but it's very simple. I'll take you through it all. So this void connects to Wi-Fi says we're connecting to the SSID name. You can delete that and uncomment this if you want, and it will just show you the actual SSID name. But I'm just going to put name like that for now. And it will begin by using the Wi-Fi credentials that you set before. So Wi-Fi begin, SSID, password, that's these details up here. If you haven't filled these in yet, this is when you fill them in. So it takes these Wi-Fi credentials and it will attempt to connect to it. I've got a little timeout set here, so just an integer of 10. And while it is not connected, the Wi-Fi status is not connected, and this integer is less than 10, delay 1 second and print this number. So basically it will count down from 10. If at any time during that countdown it connects, it moves through to the connection result, which says connected, and it gives you the IP address of the NodeMCU. Not important for this tutorial, but just a handy thing to know how to do. I tend to print the local IP whenever I'm using a NodeMCU because you never know when you'll need it. If it doesn't manage to connect after 10 seconds, then the else case is just the connection has failed, check your credentials or connection. You've either made a mistake writing in your name and password of your Wi-Fi, or your Wi-Fi is down, or you have a dodgy ESP8266. That's pretty much what's happened there. So that is the connect to Wi-Fi void, but right now it's just a method. It doesn't do anything. We need to actually tell it when to trigger. So in the setup function, after this initial button pressed, we're going to call it, not forgetting the semicolon. And now if you verify this, save it, upload it, it should work. So let's check that out now. So now that it's uploaded, here we are on the serial monitor. And just like before, we have some gibberish, then button pressed. It said it's connecting to name. It obviously took 3 seconds or so to connect because it's tried 10, 9, 8, connected. And here is our NodeMCU's IP address. So we are now online. Let's go to if this, then that, and do some cool things with our newfound connection. Now we need to set up if this, then that. So if you haven't already got an account with them, set one up right now and pause the video, come back when you've got that done. And under My Applets, we're simply going to create a new applet. Now, for this, we're going to use something called webhooks. You may have guessed that already, considering that we have used a webhooks library with our Arduino. So search for webhooks, click webhooks, and you might get a page that comes up before you get this that just says connect. You might need to connect it to your if this, then that account. So do that, and you'll come to this screen that says choose trigger. It's a pretty easy choice. There's only one. We want to receive a web request. So that's what we'll be doing from our NodeMCU. Now, we need to come up with an event name. I'd keep it pretty simple if I was you, because this is what we need to put in our code. So I'm simply going to call this push button and create the trigger. And that is now locked in as if we get the push button event to the if this, then that service. What do we do? Well, for that, we're going to set up Twitter. So once again, when you click this, that might ask you to connect to it. When you click connect to it, you might need to verify that if this, then that can post to your Twitter account. I've already done all this kind of stuff, so I'm not going to bother. We're going to decide to post a tweet whenever we press our button. And I'm going to say the mystery button was pressed and create that action. So now, it gives you a chance to review your applet, and quite simply, if the maker event, which is our webhook, push button happens, then post a tweet to @IanMBuckley, which is my Twitter feed, and receive notifications when this applet runs. That's if, say, you have the if this then that mobile app, you will receive a notification on your phone whenever it runs, which can be quite handy. Think about this in terms of, instead of a button, you have a door sensor, and when the door opens, you get a notification. This exact same tutorial could be for security in that regard. Either way, click finish, and we're pretty close to being ready. There's one other thing, however, that we need from if this then that. So first things first, I'm going to take push button, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here, just so that I know I have it. There's one other thing that we need to do, and that is if we go to My Applets, if we go to Services, and if we go to Web Hooks, we need to go to the documentation here in order to get our API key. Now, it may or may not be blurred out on your screen, but up here at the top it says your key is, and then a big long number and letters and numbers thing here. And so get this, and also copy this. Copy it somewhere safe, because if anyone else gets a hold of this, then they can trigger things using your if this then that account. I don't think I'm going to be using this particular applet for too long, so I'm not all that worried, but yeah, it's worth knowing that this is your personal key. You should probably keep it secret. With this in mind, we have everything we need, so we can head back over to the Arduino IDE and work out how we're going to use the if this then that webhook library to trigger our if this then that event. Back here in the Arduino IDE, let's use the IFTTT webhook library to trigger our event. So this code from the library is fairly simple. You just call a webhook object, you instantiate it. Where it's in here, the arguments you pass it, the API key and the event name. This is the stuff that you should have got from the site before when I told you to copy it. So for example, I have push button. Your key will go here and it'll be some random collection of numbers and letters. Obviously, I've just made that one up. And it takes this information and just says to trigger the hook. And one final piece of code here, I would quite like it if when this is all done, it gives us a little flash of the LED, just so we know that it's done everything and it's going back to sleep. Now this LED flash isn't fancy enough to say yes, it was successful or not. I mean, you could set up two LEDs, one green, one red, and if everything comes through and it connected and it's fine, it would take a bit more code, but you could have it that way. All this is doing is saying, I've done my job, whether it worked or not, I'm going back to sleep. So with all this in place, make sure that you have your Wi-Fi credentials in place, make sure that these are correct, and upload it to your board, and we can test if it works. And just to show that this works, I uploaded it to the board, and as I mentioned at the start, whenever you upload it to the board or connect it to a power source, it will trigger the button, because the button is a reset button. So that's just something worth bearing in mind. Whenever you change the power source or change the code, that is going to happen. There are ways around that, but this is a simple tutorial today. However, I uploaded it, it worked. I went back into my Twitter account and deleted the tweet because I wanted to prove to you that it works. So now I'm reaching over, I'm pressing the button. As you can see in the serial monitor up here, it is working, it is connected, it's got to the NodeMCU, and as you can see, there's nothing here right now. I'm just going to refresh my Twitter page, and 3 seconds ago, the mystery button was pressed. So there we go, that's it working. I know this tutorial went kind of fast. If there's any bits of it that you didn't understand, please head to the main Make Use of website. All the code is there. I mean, you can just download the code that I used and replace your credentials if you really want. But there we go. That is one working Wi-Fi button. So that's it. That is a basic Wi-Fi enabled button using the Node ESP8266 and if this then that, and of course a button. Now, you might be thinking this doesn't look much like a tiny little Amazon Dash. It's still connected to the computer. It's still on a breadboard, and you're right. This is just a basic tutorial. If you really wanted to make it good, you would need to connect it to a battery. You might want to 3D print yourself a case. And even if you do that, this won't last as long as an Amazon Dash because these things are not as efficient as the proprietary software and hardware that they have. Also, for some obscure reason, the NodeMCU has an LED on the same pin as the wake up from sleep pin, which means that it is always on and there's nothing you can do about it. This could be more efficient. However, this is not just for an Amazon Dash-like button. If you switched the button for a door sensor, like we used in a previous tutorial with the Raspberry Pi, that means whenever the door is open, you could use this to trigger an alert to your phone. So that's a budget security system using exactly the same stuff that we covered today. There's a million things you could do with this. There's a million ways you can make it better, and I look forward to seeing that. Please do comment on this video if you end up doing something cool with this. And as always, we have weekly tech tips here. We have giveaways. We have reviews of all kinds of awesome stuff. So please do subscribe to the Make Use of channel. My name's Ian. Thanks so much for watching today. Bye-bye.